do you think, Mavis? Think it's going to be another cold one tonight? Yeah, dare say you're right. Remind me to go pick up some other books next time I go to market. I've read all of these so many times, I've basically got them memorised by now. Well, no matter. What do you say we break out one of these tonight, eh? Yeah, the good ones that Captain just gave us. Well, no, I know you can't enjoy it, but nothing wrong with me having one, eh? Smells wonderful, that's for sure. It's a nice one. Should have done skimp this time. That is a nice one. I want to savor this one. I do not remember which kingdom she said this was from, but it's a good one. I'll have to ask her. Oh, hello. I wasn't expecting another inspection for at least another week or two. It's alright, no matter. Everything is ship-shape, as always. It's always ship-shape. Well, is it really ship-shape if we're not actually on a ship? Old habits die hard, I suppose. That is a strong one. Anyway, feel free to poke around, do whatever you need to do. As you'll see, all my records are up to date. I've got all of the coal rationed out, and of course the brazier up there is kept clean, and the foghorn, I just did maintenance on that a few days ago, so everything's working just fine. Now, I would advise you, you're free to go anywhere, but if you have to go up to the Widow's Walk, just take some extra care tonight. The walk is precarious on a good night, but it's been a bit windy tonight. Then it turns into downright treacherous. Just word to the wise. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not here for an inspection. I guess I just sort of assumed. I don't get a lot of visitors if they are inspectors. And you are dressed in a very nice cloak. You definitely look like you could be an official of one of the magistrates. Anyway, apologies. You must be one of those new historians, eh? The people going around and learning what daily life is like for the simple folk of the Kingdom of MacLeod. Oh, you don't have to deny it, it's alright. I heard all about the king's incentive to try to humanize himself to the population a bit more. Honestly, I'm a bit glad that people like you are taking an interest in people like me, especially lightkeepers. You know, there's a lot more to being a lightkeeper than people think. Oh, sure. There's loads more than we do than just keep the light going. I mean, obviously keeping the light going is a big part of what we do, otherwise they wouldn't call us light keepers. But there's a lot more to it than that. Oh sure, there's a maintenance that we've got to do all the time. Yeah, maintenance on the brazier, keeping track of how much coal you use, how much you need, all that sort of thing. You would not want that light to go out in the night. And then of course there's the foghorn, Gotta keep track of that too. Yeah, it's not just darkness that can be treacherous for sailors coming into port. There's all sorts of other things that the foghorn can help with. You know, up until recently, we actually didn't have the fancy big horn that's up there that we've got now. In my father's time, he didn't have that. He just had a big bugle type of horn that he would go out and stand on the widow's walk and blow his horn every hour or even half an hour, sometimes even quarter hour if it was real bad, if it was what you called a pea soup day. But now we've got a very nice contraption up there. One, it's quite a lot simpler to use, and two, definitely quite a lot louder. Yes, it's actually so loud that it makes the whole lighthouse vibrate when it goes off. I lost a few of my favourite teacups when I first started working here, because I didn't know that you shouldn't have them, sitting in your cupboards or on the edge of the table or something, because when the whole place shakes, then anyway, it's alright. A bit of China ain't worth, people's lives. But anyway, yeah, that the foghorn we've got up there, it's quite convenient, but it does take some maintenance, so I've got to check that weekly, make sure it's still working. Right, yeah. That one we've got up there, it's quite a fascinating contraption. It was actually built by a family of gnomes who used to live in these parts. Yeah, it was quite an innovative family. Yeah, they moved out of here about 10 years ago or so with all the mess with the Blythorn, whatever happened over there. Now, that was clear across on the other side of the kingdom, but news travels fast. At least bad news like that, so they decided to hightail it out of here before ramifications, you understand? I do miss them though. We were an interesting bunch, that family. Anyway, so nowadays I don't even have to go up there to make the foghorn go. There's a rope right over there in the corner of the room that it's connected to a pulley. So all I got to do is go over there and give it a good yank, and the foghorn goes off. I demonstrate for you, but it is quite loud. And if I do it when there isn't fog, then people get mad in town. You like their beauty sleep? What can I see? It's quite a strong one. Do you smoke? Oh, do you mind if I do? Good. I mean, it is my home after all, but I can be polite. I could put it out if it really bothered you. No? Good. It's a good one. Do you know that I've had one from this flavour before? I'll have to ask the captain where she got it. Oh yeah, it's this strange looking captain. She's almost blue skinned. Yeah, she came in here trying to recruit me for some sort of expedition she's got going on. Told her those days are long behind me. Not that I don't occasionally get the itch to go out onto the sea once more, but no, much happier living a quiet, simple life here now. It's actually rather important what lightkeepers do. I mean, besides just the obvious of, keeping the light going, it's actually, there's a lot more too. If ever there's a shipwreck or something, I'm usually the first to know about it, and I can alert other people who can go out and help them. Mm-hmm. Oh, and of course, because we've got that colony of sirens that lives not too far off the coast of Tivermack, I've got to keep track of them too. Usually they keep to themselves, but every once in a while they try to sneak in a bit closer to the mainland. And when they like to do it the most is during a storm, especially if it's a storm that comes on quickly. People weren't expecting, and there are ships caught out in the harbour and they're battling the storm and maybe don't have the wits about them to combat something like a slippery sea maiden song. Yeah, I've got some different sort of chemicals and things, actually also given to me by that gnome family. So if I see the sirens coming too close to a ship, I can make the fire in the lighthouse burn a different colour, green or red or something like that, so that they know there's danger and can move away. Quite an important job, the lightkeeper. Lonely? I suppose sometimes. Not ever for very long. I had a life full of being out on the sea, doing all those crazy expeditions, chasing my fortune across the waters. Had quite a lot of excitement, and it's nice to have some quiet. Besides, I'm not really alone. I got my cat Mavis. Isn't that right, girl? Temperamental bat. Anyway, is there anything else you'd like to know for your records, for your historical accounts? You're not here to be. You're not a historian here. Here I am rambling on and on. I am so sorry. Well, then what brings you up here, if you don't mind me asking? Like I said, I don't get a lot of visitors. You came to ask about a visitor I've had in the past, huh? What visitor would that be? Maggie. It's a long story. Why do you want to know? You're looking for her. Well, good luck with that. You've got some time to listen to the story. Alright, well, why don't you have a seat? I'll put a kettle on. I'm sure I can find 2 teacups still, can I? Yeah, I think I've still got 2 of them. We'll make us some tea and we can chat, shall we? Go ahead and let that steep for a bit. So, you're looking for Maggie, eh? Who is she to you? Or you know some of her family is looking for her. Interesting that they're sending you off after her after so long. I know how long she's been away from home. Yes. I was here when she first arrived to Tivermack. She was a kind-hearted soul, but definitely very subdued, especially when she first moved here. There was quite a lot in her past she didn't know what to talk about. But then again, quite a lot of us have something in our past that's painful, so I didn't pry. I think that's maybe why we got along so well. Anyway, I ran into her one of her first days here. I had to stop by the market before I came home to get some sleep after the night, and she looked very lost. And then she told me that she was running out of money, asked if there was anything she could do for me to make some money, because I don't know if you've noticed yet, but staying in Tivermack too long, it gets expensive, especially at one of the inns. Poor girl, looked so desperate. I couldn't help but, offer her a place to stay. So she actually stayed with me for a while before she got a place of her own. Yeah. We never had all that many deep conversations. Not at first, anyway. The whole first year that she was here, she was, like I said, very subdued. But I gave her space. She gave me mine. It was a pleasant but quiet friendship. It was fine. And then after she had been here for about a year, someone else, like yourself, came looking for her. And Maggie all but disappeared for probably 2 or 3 weeks or so, as this person poked around and tried to find out more about her. I honestly did not know where to find her during that time. But then after that person had left for a while, Maggie came back, and she was very different. She was open with me for the first time about some of the different mistakes she had made in life. I think seeing that person again, it just scared her. Not that they were dangerous or that there was any ill will there, but she said that before she left town, she had revealed a few things to that person, and they hadn't reciprocated. So she knew she had to leave town and branch out on her own. Anyway, after she came back, she was obsessed with getting her hands on anything that she could that had to do with healing, herbology, any of those sorts of things. She almost went a bit mad with it, really. Started studying different plants and different herbs and spices and things that she could find from the ships or the market. Really, she'd study and try anything that anyone would give her. Most of the ships that come in, they've got a doctor or a healer or something like that on board. So she would go and she would talk to those people and just accumulated all of this different knowledge, different practices of how to heal sicknesses and cure wounds, stop infections, all sorts of things that she found interesting. And yeah, she honestly, I didn't see her all that much during that time either for a bit. She was very single-minded that she was going to be a great healer, best this kingdom had ever known. That was her goal anyway. I think she needed something to focus on, though. You see, Maggie was a good soul, but definitely a soul with quite a lot of fire in it. She needed some sort of drive, some sort of goal to focus herself on. So when she started really studying that kind of stuff, she loosened up quite a lot, started smiling and laughing more. It was good to see her so happy. Your tea's probably good now if you wanted to try it. I'm afraid it's nothing special, but it's warm. Up here, that's sometimes all you need is something to keep you warm. You like it? Good. Like I said, you could probably find something a bit fancier in some of the inns or something, but it does the job. Oh, well, for a while, things were going very well, and Maggie was becoming known as quite an amazing healer in Tivermack. Something we didn't really have here before, so something desperately needed, especially with the sicknesses coming in from the different ships and things. The more that she learned, the more people she helped, and it was definitely appreciated. It was something that she needed, and it was something the town needed. So for several months, things were very good for her and for Tivermack. But then someone got sick. Someone important. Let's just say that. And Maggie tried her very best to heal them, but it was a sickness that she did not know what it was. No one that she talked to on any of the ships had ever heard of it before. Really, none of us had any idea. In fact, the family sent for doctors and healers from all over the kingdom, really, and no one could do anything about it. But unfortunately, Maggie was the one who lived here in Tivermack, where the important person was sick. And it hit her hard that she did not know what to do. She did not know how to heal them. And then that's where my knowledge gets a bit fuzzy. What actually happened? I think, I cannot say for sure, but I think she was threatened to get out of town. I don't have any proof of that, except for the fear and the haste that Maggie left town with when she did finally decide to leave. Let's just say I would not be surprised. A town like Tivermack. It's really turned into a dark place in the last decade or so. Oh, well. Have you ever been to Tivermack before this trip? No. Well, then you never knew the city before. I'm sure your impression of Tivermack has been a place that is very pricey, where everything costs money and everyone is out to make money as much as they possibly can. Honestly, that's what most of Tivermack is about. It's a trade city, but it's not the most wholesome of cities, let's just say that. But it did not used to be that way. It used to be a trade city that wasn't just all about the money and scamming people out of their gold, but it used to be about sharing cultures and experiencing life from different point of views. It was a vibrant and a lively city where, I mean, it was never perfect, but it was fun. Every day living here was an adventure. Not the dangerous kind, but the fun kind. We learned something new every day. But, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say. How do I know you're not going to sell me out if I say anything bad about important people in town? Your word. My safety's worth a bit more than a gold coin or two, I'm afraid. Well, let's just say the current city officials have, they have their own agendas. Let's just say that. The current magistrate started running this town about a dozen years ago or so. He seemed like he was bright and eager to continue the legacy of the wonderful bustling city of Tivermack. But then he changed too. And then the city changed, and then it all just sort of fell to pieces. You know, I used to like the days that I would go down to the market and gather supplies or stock up on whatever I needed. Now, honestly, I go as rarely as I need to. It's not horrible dangerous. It's just sort of bleak, I suppose. Something like that. Anyway, Maggie took off about 2 years after she had lived here. Then she just disappeared. Came back here one day and gathered up all of her possessions as much as she could and put them in a trunk or two and loaded them on a carriage and said she was leaving. Wouldn't tell me where, even after we had gotten so close the last year. You know, you'd think I'd be used to a life of solitude, living in a place like this. But when you've had someone here that filled it with so much life, and then all of a sudden they're just gone, it's different, I suppose. No, I have not heard from her in 3 years. Oh, actually, it's not entirely true. Where was it? I tucked around here somewhere. About, a month or so after she left, I had this strange package. Here we go. It was left on the front door, right outside. And it was just this, and then I had a little note on it. And it was just signed M. But I knew who that was. And it said that she would never be too far away, and if I needed her, she would be here. And then inside this little pouch was this beautiful brooch. It's actually one that I knew that Maggie wore to fasten her cloak. Yeah. She said it held some sort of significance to her, that it was from her hometown. I don't know anything more about that, but I've kept it safe these last 3 years. I keep hoping one of these days that she'll show up again. Wishful thinking, it feels like now. It's been so long. So if there happens to be any chance that you find her, please do let me know. I'd love to see her again. You know, people come and go from this town all the time. Some of them you hardly notice, but then some of them make quite an impact. Maggie was one of them. Not just on me, but on some of the other locals too. She just had this way about her, this smile, and her eagerness to help people. It was very admirable. Anyway, I'm sorry that I could not be more help to you. I mean, you know that she was here, but I have no idea where she is now. I'm trying to think if there is anything else that I could... You know what? One of the perks of having a life of solitude like this is that you get very good at journaling. Very good at keeping records of things, just to keep the days and the months and years straight, really. I wonder if I wrote anything in my journals that would be helpful. So let me check. Which one would it be in? When was this one? No, that was a bit earlier. Oh no, I just finished this one a few months ago. Yeah, okay. Maybe it was this one. course, it's the one that's fastened all tight. There we go. Yes, this was the one I was keeping during the time that Maggie was here with me. There might be some interesting information in here that could be useful to you, help you track her down. Although, a word of caution, a journal is very personal to someone. I do not care too much what you may discover in these pages. I don't really believe in hiding things, but just keep an open mind, will ya? I do not go into too much detail, I suppose, of our companionship, but can I trust you with this? Okay. I wouldn't normally just hand this over to a stranger, but you really sound like you do know Maggie, or at least know enough of her. Maybe we'd be able to find her. Oh, I think it went off. It's a very good one. Wouldn't mind a whole box of these. To go track down that captain again before she shoves off on her expedition. Like we don't all know what that means. Alright. I suppose if you really want to find Maggie, there may be something in here that's helpful. Alright, well, I mean, good reading, I suppose. Some interesting things in there. Oh, and you can ignore the bits of poetry and random musings of a lonely mind. Please ignore those. I hope you find her. I hope she's alright. I would say, I mean, she said she would never be far away. I don't know if that was literally or metaphorically, really. But, perhaps she's not too far. Nice to have some company. Even if it's someone asking for painful stories. No, it's not too painful. Nostalgic, I suppose, would be a better word. They were good times with Maggie. Good times. And then sad times after. But what am I going on about? I got my cat, I got my light up there. Still got my job, so cannot really complain much, can I? Anyway, you best be off. It's getting quite dark out there. You know, I mean, I'm up all night, but I'm not wandering the streets of Tivermack at night. So if you're gonna be heading on to an inn or something like that, you might want to shove off and get somewhere safe quickly. But it was interesting meeting you. Reliving those memories. I do hope you find her. Well, anyway, if you think of any other questions or any other way I could be of help, by all means come back and, you know, I'll answer whatever I can. Not that I know everything about her, but I'm happy to share with you any sort of knowledge that might help you find her. But until then, Happy hunting, I suppose. Really is a good, very good place.